You gave your life to make a difference. You gave your life to make a change. You welcomed all to your table. You're calling us to do the same. I want my life to make a difference. I want my life to make a change. I want my life to do some good here. I want my life to make a change. Working side by side, no outer inside. Together we can make that change. With the few or many, with the lot or not any. Together we can make that change. I want my life to make a difference. I want my life to make a change.
So Eileen, what did you think of the first night of the gathering?
I thought it was wonderful.
What did the speakers talk about?
They talked about how we all belong in this giant pot of gumbo. About how the Lutherans, we accept everybody in God's name, not just that we're the only ones going to heaven, that we accept all different races and genders and types of people.
Jesus is our peace.
Practice justice!
We can make that change. I want my life to make a difference. I want my life to make a change. I want my life to do some good here. I want my life.
Today we watched the African creation dance interpretation of the way we were created. It showed us that we both have similarities, even though we come from different stories, that we are all created by one God.
We used to be distant, but now we're all together and we're making a difference. Walk alongside ya, I don't wanna fight ya. Christ is our peace.
We heard from a speaker today that talked about being bullied so bad that he had to go to the hospital and have reconstructive surgery. He told us that one person can make a difference. All it takes is standing up and inviting them to lunch to sit at your table. And I signed a petition today about that I will try to prevent any bullying and remind people that bullying hurts lives, and it's not just us, it's the future. And I got this dog take to remind myself to try to stop bullying and remind myself that bullying is bad and we all need to try to stop.
Practice discipleship.
The saints, we're the sunshine with the rain. We're the joy with the pain. We're the change. You heal the sick and fed the poor. You love the prophet and the whore. And through us you will do more. You're the change. I want my life.
Chapter 2. Consequently, you are no longer foreigners and strangers, but fellow citizens with God's people, and also members of His household. Here ends the reading.
Do some good here. I want my life.
Hi, today we did worship and I got to speak and we learned better ways to be disciples. It was really fun and we got to meet new people and we had different challenges where we had to hop on one foot, and then we learned that through God we can stand longer together, and it was a really fun time and I can't wait to bring it back to the church.
Today a guy talked to us about how he helped homeless people and he fed them and he slept with them in the park, but it was illegal. And I think that God was telling him to do something that was against the law, because if laws aren't broken, then some of the things that were bad back in the day would still be here, like slavery. So sometimes we learn that you have to break laws to end up in a good thing.
Practice peacemaking.
You gave your life to make a difference. You gave your life to make a change.
So today we went to the Interaction Center and made bracelets for kids overseas in Iraq.
The bracelets are a way of showing our faith overseas with the kids in Iraq.
Us to do the same. I want my life to make a difference. I want my life to make a change. I want my life to do some good here. I want my life to make a change. Working side by side, no outer inside. Together we can make that change. With the few or many, with the lot or not any.
Hi, how are you guys? I'm having fun. How about you?
To make a difference.
Alright, so today we went to worship in the morning and at night. The one this morning was kind of jazzy and the New Orleans style of just jazz music, and God was there with all the kids, congregation, and the music. Tonight we went to the Superdome for a different worship that was all like upbeat music with 6 Foot, and they were amazing. We heard a few speakers. Alright, so there was an 18-year-old that was with this congregation that he just had told us all about his faith and how he feels that God follows him wherever he goes.
This past week, we've been with over more than 34,000 people, and we all worshipped in the Dome. It was the coolest thing ever, getting to see each other all together, worshiping our one God and sharing our faith. Looking around the Dome and seeing everyone together just sends shivers down your back, and it makes you so happy that we have God.
Family's reality, we used to be distant, but now we're all together and we're making a difference. Walk alongside.
Today we had the opportunity to serve communion, and I saw God because we were serving His blood and body.
Be far away today, we now are neighbors. Walls fall like oh, and the cornerstone's Christ. Our peace and the giver of life. Hold us together and guide us tonight. Show us how you want us to serve, how you want us to listen, and with you we'll be making a difference.
I want my life to make a difference. I want my life to make a change. I want my life to do some good here. I want my life to make a change.
Community.
Ecstatic.
Change.
Fantastic. Fun. Faithful.
Inspiring.
Fun.
A learning experience.
Life-changing.
You gave your life to make a difference. You gave your life to make a change. You welcomed all to your table. You're calling us to do the same.